My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jacob and I are going to walk through our bets for UFC 273. We're going to walk through what we've done with our money. And if you want some free money, go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. We have 5 different betting partners, all of whom we place our bets on. But sign up with any one of them, make a deposit, let me know after you do, and we send you $50 as a thank you for supporting us and our partners. So that's WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of the 5 betting partners, make a deposit, let us know, and we give you $50, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it. I have 6 units, but only a couple of bets. But I do have 6 units, so I'm pretty confident in these. It's kind of a tricky card. I've already seen yours. You're going to be talking for about 45 minutes about all your bets. So let me go first, and then you do your thing. I've got 3 money line bets. I think this is one of the trickiest betting cards that we've had in a long time because the big 3, which you see I parlayed, honestly, those are pretty easy. The undercard, though, has a ton of fights that can go either way, a ton of live dogs. I've grabbed Mickey Gall at plus 165. At the end of the day, Mickey Gall is fighting a UFC newcomer who has had some regional success, but this is not regional MMA. This is the UFC. Mickey Gall has been in the UFC for a very long time. His record is not amazing, but that's because he's been fighting UFC caliber opponents for a while now. So I think he gets it done full unit at plus 165. Jared Vanderaa at minus 115. I actually love that. I was picking Alexei Oleinik to beat his original opponent. His original opponent dropped. Jared Vanderaa steps up. Couple things. One, he's massive. And the only reason that matters is because the only way Alexei Oleinik wins this fight is if he gets it to the ground and submits Jared Vanderaa. And Alexei Oleinik does not have the greatest wrestling. He's going to be very undersized compared to Jared. I don't see how he even gets Jared Vanderaa to the ground. So I like Jared Vanderaa to win just with a million jabs in Alexei Oleinik's face. I don't necessarily know if there's a stoppage. I know Alexei Oleinik's 45 years old at this point, but he is a tough older guy. Anyway, Jared Vanderaa, I think he wins minus 115. And I have Tecia Torres. I got her at plus 104. I put 2 units on that. I placed this bet 2 weeks ago. I may have a personal vendetta against Mackenzie Dern because as soon as I saw it, I was like, that Tecia Torres, done. I am very aware of how dangerous Mackenzie Dern is on the ground. I just think Tecia Torres is too fast, has too good a cardio, too strong. I think if this fight is standing, they're not even in the same atmosphere. Not even, let alone on the same level. On the ground, obviously it's a different world, but Mackenzie Dern has to get it to the ground. Ticia's not going to take her down. She's not stupid. And Mackenzie Dern has only a 10% takedown accuracy. So Mackenzie Dern is an incredibly high-level athlete, very good at jiu-jitsu. Maybe she comes out with, a very improved wrestling game, but I don't see it. I think Tecia Torres gets it done. So I threw 2 units at that. And then I parlayed.
Like Mackenzie there for a second. I mean, you sounded a little bit like Mackenzie there. I threw 2 units on there.
And then I parlayed the big 3. They all should win. There's some massive odds in here. I parlayed the big 3. Frankly, if one of them's going to lose, I think it's Petr Yan, but I don't think he loses. I think he's just the closest to losing. All 3 of them, I think, win. I got minus 160. I don't usually like doing odds that crazy, but honestly, I think that's almost guaranteed money. And minus 160 means if you bet $160, you get 100 back, including your 160. That's a solid return. So I'm good with that. I threw 2 units at that. So that's all I've got going, Jacob. We'll jump right into, you have like literally 5 slides worth of stuff. So here you go.
Literally 5 slides. So settle in, grab a cup of coffee. We're going to be here for a little bit. I've had success with Lock of the Week, so I got to, there's a moment where you really kind of got to go all in. If you're going to really want to make some money, you got to really go all in. The markets are down. Bitcoin's down. I think the safest place you can put your money is in fight gambling. Listen, I did get a little crazy this week, but if you're not going to get crazy for a pay-per-view, when are you going to get crazy? I think I have a total of, the total is 38 units bet on this fight card.
Dude, you have a lot of free time.
Yeah,
apparently a lot of money.
This is what happens when we have 3 lock of the weeks, too. Really, I have to grab this. I have to put this for this lock of the week, this for lock of the week. But let's get right into it. First of all, Korean Zombie, he's probably not going to win. Plus 500 for a puncher's chance. I just threw a little flyer on there. A lot of these are just little flyers. I wouldn't.
1.5 units is not a flyer.
That's a flyer for me because he's the big dude and he's gonna bite down and he can knock out. Listen, Volkanovski is not a finisher, right? So if there's 5 full rounds of Korean Zombie being there, as long as he doesn't really get out wrestled, being there, throwing, he's got the power advantage. Plus 500. I put 1.5 units on it. That's a good return. The next is good. And then that's the only money line. And then we get immediately into the props. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this. I am all in on Aljo, man. I love Aljo in this fight. I know that he's the underdog. He should lose the fight, but he looks fantastic. He looks confident. He's saying the right things. And I just think he comes in and wrestles. It sounds like there is no hiding the game plan. He is going to wrestle. I'm going to get his back. I'm going to choke him out. He says it's going to be in the first round. So he said that. I'm like, all right, I'll put a little first round flyer on a KO, TKO, and a sub bet for the first round. The next ones are a little bit more, I would say, reasonable. I have Aljo inside the distance, decision no action, which I think is reasonable because if anyone's going to finish the fight, I think it probably is Aljo. We saw Aljo take shots from Jan in the first fight, and obviously the fight was stopped, but I don't think anyone was about to get finished in that fight. I think it's a little bit more aggressive from both of them in this fight. So I put 4 units at plus 325 inside the distance, decision no action. If it goes decision and Jan wins, I get that money back. There's no harm, no foul. But if Aljo wins inside the distance, not only do I get that plus 325, but this next bet as well will also cash, and that does not go the distance at minus 110. I put 5 units on that because I think these guys hate each other and somebody is going to finish somebody, and I hope it ends up being Aljo. If it's Aljo in the first round, we're all going to Vegas on my dime. I got the jet ready, just need to sign some papers. So that's the bets I'm playing with the Aljo Sterling fight, the Aljo Jan fight. Then I have Kay Hansen. So this is one of my lock of the weeks, and she missed weight. And it's a little bit of a concern, but I don't think it's a huge concern. She posted on her Instagram story like a day ago while she was cutting weight and basically was like, this is stupid. I know I walk around 125, 130. I know she walks around 125, 130. So we both cut down to 115 just so we could fight again at 130. It makes no sense. It sounded like she was just kind of over it. So I don't think she didn't look bad on the scale. I literally just think she was like, screw this. Like, why am I doing this? So she misses weight by 2.5 pounds. She didn't want to cut it anymore. I actually think it might be an advantage for her to be a little bit heavier, especially in the wrestling. So I placed this before she missed weight, but I still like she's still my lock of the week, even though she missed weight. And I can, sometimes I play that a little bit different, but she is still my lock of the week, even though she missed weight. Round 1, round 2, round 3, you can see that by submission. A full unit on each because I think she wins and wins by submission. Next slide, please. Some more props here. Derns Torres, under 2.5. This one's probably a little bit controversial. I placed this earlier in the week, 3 units. This kind of hedges. I think Tisha wins as well. I'm a big McKenzie person, but I think Tisha wins as well. And I actually think that Tisha could finish McKenzie. McKenzie hasn't been finished, but the way she hasn't faced somebody that has the volume of Tisha Torres. So I don't think Tisha Torres is going to flatline knock her out. But when Tisha gets you up to the cage, she does not stop with that volume. It's boom, 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 boom. And it could be an opportunity where the ref is like, fight back, and McKenzie can't fight back. They stop the fight. Or if this goes to the ground, McKenzie's going to win inside of 30 seconds the second this goes around if it finds a way. So this is kind of playing this both sides in this fight. In a toss-up fight, I just took the under 2.5 at plus 145. 3 units on that. The next one is I almost took a money line bet on Darian Weeks versus Ian Gary. I think we both are higher on Darian Weeks than most people. I think we both picked Ian Gary to win. I almost picked Darren Weeks. Actually, I think you were a little bit closer on the Darren Weeks side than I was. But yeah, I wanted to pick him to win, but I thought, you know what? With his wrestling, I think he can come out, wrestle heavy maybe in the first round, steal that first round, and then if he loses the decision, we're good with that plus 3.5 bet. So I put 2 units at plus 180. I hedged this a little bit later on in a different parlay with my over-unders and stuff like that. But if he can just win a round, we're feeling good about that with the decision. That's all he needs to win. If he ends up winning the fight, then we win that as well at plus 180. I don't know if you want to explain that again. We explained it a lot of times, but
you basically buy a round. You buy 3.5 points on the judges' scorecards. That totals up to 1 round. So if Darian Weeks wins a single round in real life on his own, you add the round that you bought from the sportsbook to that, and now he has 2 rounds to 1, and the bet pays out at plus 180. If Darian Weeks gets knocked out, you lose. If Darian wins on his own, you also win. So you're buying around the judge's scorecard, and you get some solid outs there.
Right. And this next one is kind of some stuff I'm playing with. On BetOnline, I don't know if it's on other books. On BetOnline, they have if-then bets. So basically what happens is if you place one bet to start, If that wins, or you can have it set to if it draws. If that wins, then it will automatically place the next bet for you. And basically, I have these stacked up to kind of hedge my lock of the weeks, that if my first lock of the week loses, Kay Hansen, then the next bet will place to kind of cover my next lock of the week, which is Mike Madsen. So I have Rodriguez moneyline minus 112 for a unit. If she wins, if she beats Kay Hansen, it will automatically place the Mike Malott moneyline bet for me at minus 190 for a unit. So I'm kind of playing with this to see how you can do this. Obviously, if you're watching the fights and you're live betting, you can kind of just do this on your own. But if you're off, you just want to enjoy the fights, you can kind of stack a few of these up that if so-and-so wins, then it'll place the next one, and so on and so forth. So I'm kind of playing with this, seeing how it works out. So those, I've got a full unit on both of those. My big underdog parlay, which obviously I'm Aljo. I think Aljo's going to win. Gilbert's a different story, but we've never really seen Chimaev in any adversity. The dude's been punched one time in the UFC. So I think Gilbert Burns has the opportunity to be able to survive. And if he survives and it gets late second into the third round, we don't know how Chimaev is going to react in that situation. So this is, again, a little bit of a flyer. I did put 2 full units on it because I think it just comes down to Gilbert Burns, because I think that Aljo beats Jan. So a little bit of a flyer at plus 2,000. Instead of, it basically turns Gilbert Burns from a plus, what is he, a plus like 500, something like 400. Like, so if I think Aljo is going to win, this basically turns Gilbert Burns into a plus 2,000 fighter. So I'll take that at 2 units. That's how I see it. Obviously, other people see it where, you know, they think Jan's going to win, but, you know. And then this is my other underdog parlay. This is my lock of the week parlay. You guys are always wondering. I always had the Kay Hansen bets already. But I always put my money where my mouth is. I put lock of the weeks, and I always back it with money. And this one, whoo! 5 units, baby. Kay Hansen, Mark Madsen.
Wait, don't you have 3 lock of the weeks?
We do. And it's, well, you'll see that on the next parlay, Angelo. So I have Kay Hansen, Mark Madsen, 5 units at plus 330. So we're feeling good about that. The next one, I have the same bet as you. We actually have the same bets, but mine's designed a little bit different. You have Mickey Gall on a money line, and then the 3 favorites stacked up. I actually just stacked them all together. So basically, if you take the 3 favorites, if you think they're all going to win, which a lot of people do, I think Jan's a little, you know, that's just me. But if you think they're all going to win, you're basically getting plus 330 odds for Mickey Gall. So I put 5 units on that. If you think all the 3 are going to win, I think Mickey Gall's going to win. You think Mickey Gall's going to win. So I put plus 330. I don't think you're going to get those same odds now. Somebody in the live chat Tuesday was like, no, I just stacked them and I only got plus 1 something. I placed this earlier when the odds were not as wide. For Volkanovski, wasn't as wide. Jan wasn't as
They've
wide.
come back.
Wasn't as wide.
The Volkanovski odds flexed up to minus 800, and then they're starting to come back. So you could probably still get something close to this.
It's close to that. So this is my my real fun one. So I went down the card. And I basically said, where do I see finishes, right? And I saw a lot of finish. When I look up and down the card, I saw a lot of finish, especially at pay-per-view, Jacksonville. A lot of times those Florida cards get kind of wild for whatever reason. This one obviously is crazy. Plus 15,500 odds. I put 2 units on it. Got really aggressive with the 2 units. But I literally looked down and it was like, okay, Zombie, Volk. Volk says he wants to finish. He's a decision guy, but he wants to finish it. And if Zombie's going to win, he needs a finish. So there we go. Under 4.5, I already explained that. Chimaev Burns, I think everyone thinks there's probably going to be a finish. And typically it's under 1.5 for Chimaev. During Torres, I explained that one. Weeks, Gary, this kind of hedges my Weeks bet that if Gary finishes Weeks the way he has been finishing people, it kind of hedges that a little bit. Taboria and Rosenstruck, under 2.5. These are heavyweights. Taboria could out-grapple him. And then Gall and Mallet under 2.5. I think those boys get after it. And that's one of my lock of the week. So, you know, honestly, I look at this and I think this is like a lock to me, but plus 15,000 odds, you know, it's a little bit crazy. So that's my over-under parlay. I did hit one of those a few weeks ago, like 8 of them for a ton of units. So we'll see how that one plays out. I don't know how many more slides I have. This is my last one. I think this is my last one. You know, this might be my last one. Maybe one more. This is another parlay. I just stacking up parlays, guys. UFC 273 pay-per-view, 2.5 units on this one. This kind of hedges a few other bets. A lot of my parlays are hedging some of my previous bets because you'll see in here I have I have Ian Gary in this one. I have Peter Yan in this one. I have Mackenzie Dern. I didn't have her. Aspen Ladd, by the way, looks fantastic. We were worried about her weight cut. She was on the scale, made weight, big smile on her face. Looked like she had 0 issues. So I actually might look to place another bet on her because she is an underdog in this fight. Just a money line bet. But for right now, I just have her in this parlay. And maybe I should be done with the bets. I don't know. But
I think you should be all set for now.
Yeah, 38 units in one weekend. Is there another slide? I really don't know if there's another slide.
There's not another slide.
Okay.
Listen, if you guys are watching this for the very first time ever, this is literally what we did with our money. So whether you agree or disagree, it's not your money. We're not telling you what to do. This is what we did with our money.
Let me know in the comments. If you guys disagree, whatever, let me know in the comments. I'll banter with you.
Well, and Jacob and I obviously have very different approaches to all of this, and that's what makes the dynamic work. Go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners. Make a deposit. Let me know after you do, and we send you $50. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it. wewantpicks.com/bets.